How nice is it to come onto one of these streams and be happy? How's it going, everybody? Good evening. It is Charlie here, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. It's your final say from yesterday's 4-2 victory away at Molineux against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Just before we get into it, as always, guys, if you've not already, please smash that like button. It really helps get the video out there. Share it with your friends, your family members, your neighbours, whoever. Drop all of your comments in the live chat as we go along. Please subscribe if you're brand new as well. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. It's the next goal that I would like to hit. So if you could do me a solid, please help me out with that. And obviously hit that notification bell so that you're always aware of when I'm uploading. We'll get into a few of your comments. A few of you are in the building. Michael, good evening, my friend. Manji as well. How we doing? Hill Football. All the regulars are joining in here. Good evening, Charlie. Michael, second away win of the season, first double of the season, first time Leeds have scored more than 3 goals in the Premier League. Is that correct? Yeah. No, I think we scored 4 against Bournemouth at Ellen Road, didn't we? But yeah, it feels like it's the only time, isn't it, with how long ago that was. Rodrigo, 11th goal of the season and 13th goal in all competitions. Yeah, good that we've got Rodrigo back firing. Jason's in the building. Evening, mate. How are we doing? And Enzio's in the building as well. Evening, Charlie. Great to have a win at last. Yeah, exactly. It's first time I've done one of these final says live where we've actually won a game and everything isn't so downbeat. It just feels really nice. And bear with me a second. Sorry, I was just drinking the Wolves fans' tears. But anyway, we'll crack on. So obviously, as always, guys, I've made a few notes on my phone because I always think of things and then I always just forget. So obviously, firstly, I think it's just the obvious thing of that was a huge result, very much needed, and obviously Javi Gracia now has taken 7 points out of a possible 12. And if you think about it, given the games that he's had in charge, he's beaten 2 teams that we should be beating now. And I do think that how the game went yesterday in certain moments, for me, if we set up with Marsh ball, we lose that game or we draw. And I think if we'd have drawn or lost it, I wouldn't have been able to see a way out, only because, and I said it on my preview on Friday, and I said it on the watch along yesterday as well. If we couldn't have targeted 3 points against a team like Wolves, a team that's in and around us, then I don't know who we can have a look at to get points from. But yeah, huge result, huge performance. Honestly, I'm still on cloud 9 about it. I really am. I was listening to the Square Ball earlier when they did the match ball last night after the game. A few of them were saying that Leeds didn't particularly play well, but it didn't matter because we scored 4 goals. I tend to disagree on that. I do think Leeds played well for the majority. I think we did edge it and we were good value for that 3 points. And to think that, Wolves recently, they've beaten Spurs. I believe they've beaten West Ham, so they are quite a good team at home. So the fact that we've gone there, we've scored 4 at their place. Yes, we've conceded 2 and we will get onto that at some point during the stream. But I think overall Leeds were very much good value for that win. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think Leeds played well? Do you think Leeds were good value for it? Kevin, before I start, are you from Leeds? I am from Leeds. I do live in Wakefield, but I am originally from Leeds. Yeah, I am, Kevin. That's correct. Evening, Charlie. Life is good when we have a win. Hope you're well. Yep, you too, Julie. Hope you've had a good Sunday. Yeah, I'm very well after that. I can't lie. It's been nice to go into work tomorrow morning, having not got beat. It'll be unbelievable. Same scores as last year. Yep. Exactly. We'll obviously get into the goals in a little bit. I'm just going to get through a few more of your comments. Chris is in the building. Afternoon, Charlie, and all the wonderful people here. Afternoon, Chris. Stevie Marsh. Evening, Charlie. Always enjoy your streams. Thank you very much, mate. Comments like that really do mean the world, guys. Honestly, I'm getting a lot of love and a lot of support on the channel recently, which is really overwhelming. So big up to everyone that's in the chat. Pleased for Javi and the lads to pull that through. After going 3-0 up, we need to get that win, or would have created a lot of doubt. I think well done to the lads. Yeah, exactly, Enzio. And that's what I was saying about, if we'd have ended up drawing that game or losing, I think it'd have raised a massive question about the bottle and the mentality of these players. But the fact that even when Wolves pulled the 2 goals back, which, let's be honest, both Wolves goals were quite lucky goals, really. They were pretty much, handed to them on a plate. We will get into those in a little bit more detail, but I thought other than a period in the first half where Wolves were on top for about 15 to 20 minutes and the goals that they scored in the second half, obviously I felt Leeds rode that Wolves wave quite well in the first half, and obviously the goals in the second half, it is what it is. Like I said, I always say, guys, you've always got to prepare for Leeds United to concede in a game, even if we go on to win. Kevin's in the building again. Palace lost game in hand over Palace and Wolves, and better goal difference. They only point ahead. Yeah, exactly. Crystal Palace are managerless at the minute. It looks like they're going to go back in time and appoint Roy Hodgson until the end of the season. I would not be happy with that if I was a Palace fan, but it is what it is. They got beat 4-1 today by Arsenal, who we've got next at the Emirates. Brilliant. But obviously, I said before this game, the Arsenal game, it is what it is. If we can get even a point from that game, that would be amazing. But the fact that we've got this 3 points now massively helps us, because if we do lose to Arsenal, which, it is highly likely, guys, let's be real. If we lose to Arsenal, providing the other results go our way as well, we could still be in a similar position. And then we've got Forest, then we've got Palace. They are the games. Now, if Javi Grazia's record so far is anything to go off, we've beaten Southampton at home, a team in and around us. We got beat by Chelsea, who, they were in poor form, but Chelsea are Chelsea. They have got top players. A point at home to Brighton, which last week, given the performance, I wasn't happy. But now we've beat Wolves, that point looks a whole lot better. And then we've obviously beaten Wolves, a team in and around us. So Forest are around us, Palace are around us. And they're both at Ellen Road as well. So we need to be targeting 6 points from those games. If we can get those 6 points, I'll feel a lot more confident about our chances of staying up 100%. Michael Brown's in the building. The result brings Forest, Wolves and Palace, who lost today, into the relegation battle. Yeah, exactly. Yorkie lad, good evening, everyone. 14th. I knew we would win, but 4-2. Yeah, I'll admit I was confident pre-game. I did think we'd just have enough. I didn't quite predict what, I said 2-1 Leeds, and it turned out to be a little bit more convincing than that, didn't it? Which is good to see. Great confidence booster for the players, bringing the belief and fans too. We are on a high. I'm from the mids. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Just getting to a few more. Meant to say we have better goal difference over Palace and Wolves. Yeah, 100% we do. And a game in hand, yeah. Had us down for a 3-1 win, so it was nice to see us get 4, and Rod getting 1 will help him too, coming back from injury. Yep, we'll be getting onto that in a little bit, guys. I'm just going to get through. There's comments flying in, guys. Really do appreciate the interaction on this. A big concern is our inability to control possession and make successful passes. Again, that's a slight negative on yesterday's game that I will be coming to in due course. Yeah, Palace got thumped, but we got Arsenal next. Hope we give them a real tough game. I do think we'll give Arsenal a good game. Do I think we'll win it? I'll be honest, I don't. But in that game, I'll just be looking for a performance. If we can play well, if we can make a good account of ourselves, lose narrowly, it is what it is. Ramiro Castano. Hope I've pronounced your name right there, my friend. If we lose to Arsenal, we need to make sure to lose close. Need to keep goal differential advantage with those in and around us. Yep, 100%. I've divided the rest of the season into must win, must not lose, and free hit. Arsenal a free hit going forward. Would love yours and the channel's opinion. Yeah, I think Arsenal is a free hit, Jace. I do. But I think Forest and Palace are must wins at home. Obviously, the games against City and Spurs. I know Spurs is the final day, isn't it? But for me, those games are free hits as well. Liverpool's a weird one. Obviously, they're a bit up and down. I would take a point at home to Liverpool. Leicester at home as well. For me, that's must win. Bournemouth away is must win. So yeah, there's quite a lot of must wins for me in there. But again, it depends on other results, doesn't it? Really. So you kind of have to judge it game by game. So yeah, let's just go into my next point then, because like I say, I have got a few points, but really appreciate the interaction, guys. So keep them comments flying in, and I'll get to as many as I can. I just wanted to touch upon certain individuals who, for me, improved massively in yesterday's win. Firstly, Jack Harrison. I'll be openly honest, guys. I aren't fake or anything. I didn't want Jack Harrison to be in the starting 11 today. Yesterday, sorry, deep down, I didn't. I thought, even though he scored and assisted last week against Brighton, he also scored an own goal, and his overall performance was woeful. However, he played him again yesterday, which I expected, to be fair, just based on his goal and assist. Obviously, he scores the early goal to put us 1-0 up. It's a good finish as well. Cool, composed finish, simple shot into the back of the net. And I do feel his overall play did improve. You could tell that he had a bit more confidence about him after his goal, especially. I thought his passing was a lot better. Some good quality balls into the box, confident runs. Yeah, I thought Harrison improved quite a lot in yesterday's win. Brendan Aronson, I think he improved slightly. He really does still frustrate me in terms of his decision making. I think in certain moments yesterday, he did frustrate me, especially that time in, I think it was the second half, where him and Bamford were 1-2 in it. And it just felt like once they'd done the first 1-2, the other ones wasn't needed. And certain balls there, he could have literally just played a Leeds player in, and he didn't. He'd hold on to the ball too long. However, I felt in other moments, he really did impress me. So yeah, big shout out to Aronson as well, but he does need to work on his decision making in certain moments as well. I thought Chris Somerville, when Somerville came on, again, I did ask for him to be dropped. And he was rightly dropped, in my opinion, after his performance last week. However, he's given Javi Gracia another good headache to have, because I felt from the bench yesterday he came on and had a really good impact. I thought he held the ball well. His passing, his composure seemed a lot better as well, and he was helping out defensively as well. And he obviously keeps playing because the referee did not blow his whistle for the fourth goal, and obviously he plays Rodrigo in for him to get the fourth. So yeah, big shout out to those players that did step up in yesterday's game. Obviously Luke Ayling as well, not just because of the goal, but I did feel he had a bad game against Brighton. Came back stronger yesterday, and I thought he was really, really good. So we'll get into a few more comments now. I think that's an overhang from the Marsh Ball / Red Bull. Hopefully, yep. When we got it down, instead of hoofing it, we looked decent at times and cut them open. Thought we were more open with Adams, though. Yeah, and it's just nice to see us play with width as well. Centre backs just spraying balls out to the touchline where a Leeds player is. You just wouldn't have got that under Jesse Marsh. I did feel the midfield in the middle was. I felt Wolves had quite a bit of joy in certain moments through the middle, which I think could be improved upon. Obviously, McKennie and Rocker have not played together, just them two. I believe it was the first time that they've just played on their own without Tyler Adams. But like Enzio's just said there, I do think we've been quite open when Adams has played. So again, it gives Gracia a bit of a headache in midfield as well, because on reflection, the McKennie and Martin Rocker partnership worked yesterday, didn't it? Really, because we ended up winning the game. I do feel though that when Adams is fit, I feel he will be thrown straight back in. In all fairness, we've finally taken 6 points off a team this season, feeling good for the rest of the season now. Yeah, I am. In all honesty, obviously, I know it's still a bit tight in the bottom half. We're only 3 points above the drop, but it just makes the league table look a lot healthier, doesn't it? Let's just say that. If you can hear barking in the background, guys, there's a dog in my neighbour's garden that's just going absolutely mental. So apologies if you can hear that. Keegan Mode would love to beat them. Who are you referring to there, Enzio? Who are you referring to? Is it Spurs by any chance? Have it as instilled to all the lads. Take your chances and it's paying off. Who saw Rasmus getting one? Exactly. Exactly. And I'll be honest, Nonto for me needs to be starting every single game now. He started yesterday. He assisted Jack Harrison's goal. Thought he had a huge impact. He stretches the play, draws defenders towards him. He allows space for others. And I think him and Firpo have got a bit of a understanding. Obviously, there was a few times where Firpo was providing the overlapping run. So yeah, and Rasmus, I felt when Nonto came off that it was the wrong sub in terms of the player that come off. The player that came on, I was thinking, what? Like, obviously, it was evident that we tried to match Wolves because they switched to a 3 and wing backs, I think. So I think that's what we did. But it was on the pitch. I think it was something daft, like 22 seconds, and then he scores straight away. First Leeds United goal. You know, fair play to him. Fair play to the guy. Rasmus, yeah. The best goal was Christensen. Fair play. I don't know what the best goal was. For me, in terms of the celebration, it was Ayling. The fact that he brought out that celebration again, you've got to rate it. You've just got to rate it. In terms of the finish, I liked Rodrigo's finish. Nice little dink over the keeper, but I think all of our goals were very good quality finishes. Enzio Francesco is in the building again. Spurs are unpredictable at the minute. Even Conte hates them. Yeah, God, did you see his interview afterwards when he was calling them all selfish and everything? I mean, that's not good, is it? When your manager's up blatantly just coming out and blasting you in the media. But anyway, yeah, I didn't want Jack starting, but fair play to him. He played well. Yeah, he did. He did. And long may it continue from Jack Harrison. Please let it continue. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but this season, yesterday I felt he had a good game and maybe Chelsea at home. But other than that, he hasn't had a good season overall, guys. He hasn't. But I hope from now until the end of the season, you know, he is a senior player in this squad. Let's hope it can continue. Let's just hope he can continue and he can be that guy to help get us out of this. Please for Rasmus too, coming on and scoring, yeah, 100%. Harrison is still young and it's his first Premier League season. He'll be much better in the future. Yeah, hopefully that is the case. And if that turns out to be the case, fair play. I couldn't understand Javi's sub of Nonto for Rasmus, but he called it right. Yeah, he did. And Nonto looked visibly disappointed that he had left the pitch, which you can appreciate. And I actually rate that because it shows that he cares. But yeah, at the time, I was baffled by the fact that we were bringing Rasmus on. But 30 seconds later, I did not give a rat's backside, to be quite honest. And we've got a super chat. Jason, big up to you, mate. Long time supporter of the channel. Really do appreciate any donations that anybody can put in. It really does mean a lot. And anything that anybody can donate is very much appreciated. It goes straight back into the channel 100%. Smash a like, everyone. Let's support this channel. Jason, what a legend. Thank you for your £2 there, mate. That's amazing. Honestly, you've just made my night there. That's really great. Thank you. Alien was really poor in the first half, but he turned it around in the second. Yeah, I felt Pedence and Johnny were having the best of him. He did get beat quite a few times, in fairness, but I felt he recovered quite well. And obviously scored his goal. Could have potentially broken his leg from Johnny as well. Maybe Johnny just didn't like the fact that Luke scored and he thought he'd try and end his career. But obviously, all the Wolves fans on Twitter will be speaking about them towards the end, guys. We'll all be having a laugh at them. Might all moaning about the refereeing decisions. God, try and be a Leeds fan and some of the decisions that we've had go against us this season. Honestly, this is Iron Brew, by the way. My favourite fizzy drink. Somerville was a good impact player, especially with Wolves down to 10 men, as he and Rodrigo, both fresh, had more pockets of space to exploit, and they did it with the fourth goal. Yep, 100%, Michael, 100%. I did think Rodrigo looked a bit rusty up until his goal. Obviously, he has that chance where I think he thinks he's offside, but when the replay showed you it, he actually wasn't. And it kind of slows down, and he looks like he can't make his mind up, and he ends up getting dispossessed. Which, again, I'd basically just put down to match fitness, really, to be honest. But yeah, just get into a few more. The comments are flying in, guys. I can't keep up. There's 50 of you in the building. That is unbelievable. Really appreciate everyone that's in the building and everyone that's dropping comments in. If you haven't already, please smash that like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Get it shared with your friends, your family, your neighbours, whoever. Get more eyes on the channel. And as Jason has done, what a legend. Any donations that you'd like to contribute towards the channel is very much appreciated. And as I said, it does go straight back into the channel. And of course, hit that notification bell. Right then, I'm just going to get into a few more of my points and then I will get into a few more of your comments, guys. Yeah, I've already mentioned that. Sorry, I'm just reading my notes. I have already mentioned. Right, let's get into a slight negative. Let's just get it out of the way because it's not all doom and gloom. Leeds United won a game and we should be happy. But there are elements of yesterday that made me nervous, to say the least, as I'm sure it did with all of you. Now, at 3-0, I would have expected us to see the game out. Even if Wolves had got a late consolation, see it out 3-0, 3-1, whatever. But when we went 3-0 up, it seemed like we sat back a little bit and we took us foot off the gas, which invited Wolves' pressure and it allowed them to get the tails up a little bit. Obviously, them being at home, their fans, obviously, couldn't hear it on the radio stream that I was watching it on. But obviously, I could see the fans trying to gear up the Wolves players. So I get it, but the two goals for me are very lucky goals from their point of view. Goals that Leeds United should not be giving away. I mean, their first one, I mean, who is to blame for that? Is it Rocker? Is it Meslier? For me, Meslier is not to blame. I know people have said that he doesn't get back to his line quick enough, but he heads it straight to Matt Rocker. Matt Rocker's got no one around him. He has time to bring the ball down and even just hoof it upfield if he has to. But he could have done anything apart from what he did. Poor touch, straight to Johnny, who just kicks it first time on the volley. And it's one of them. It either goes straight into Rose's head or it goes in. And it went in. So for me, that's a lucky goal. And the second one takes a huge deflection off Max Verber, who is very unlucky with that because I thought Verber was class yesterday. Unbelievable. Give him the armband for me. What a player. So, yeah, for me, game management needs to very much improve. You'll have seen, if you tuned in to the watch along yesterday, that I was visibly frustrated and visibly nervous and getting annoyed, because it just felt like Leeds were going to do a Leeds and just throw it away. But thank God we didn't. And we managed to get the fourth at the end and just breathe a sigh of relief. I came off the watch along yesterday and I just sat and I thought, wow, breathe, because that was the most painful victory I've ever had to watch, guys. But yeah, for me, game management was the thing that let us down. I felt defensively in the first half when Wolves were on top, we looked a bit shaky as well, which made me a bit nervous. But again, we rode that wave quite well, I thought. and we got through it, and we managed to get the 3 points. So in theory, we don't really have to moan, do we? And just saying, yeah, Michael wasn't happy when Nonto came off, as was causing them real issues. Then Rasmus scores, fair play to Javi. Yep, 100%. I'm just going to get through these a little bit quickly, guys, because there's a lot to get through. Big up to everyone in the chat. 50 of you in the building. Crazy. Was talking about Arsenal. Would love to have a win there. Not seeing one yet. Yeah, I mean, I highly doubt it. I really do. I think every Leeds fan thought the same when Nonto was subbed off. Yeah, 100%. Somerville made a real impact. I quite agree. Let me just Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to scroll through the comments here. Good decision to sub Firpo on his customary yellow card for Pascal, given that Traore came on as sub against our left. But yeah, that's a great point, actually, Michael, because I thought Firpo was having a decent enough game. But obviously, he gets his standard yellow card, which he always seems to get. And Traore came on, the oiled up steroid machine, as I like to call him. And they were becoming a little bit predictable. I felt every time they had the ball, they were just getting it out to him. And I think because Firpo was on a booking, that's why he probably looked a bit standoffish towards Traore and he didn't really get tight enough to him, which at the time I was quite disappointed in because I thought, it felt like it was showing him a bit too much respect. But then I remembered that he was on a booking and I thought, right, fair play. And it was the right decision to get Pascal on, who I thought did okay. I thought he handled Traore quite well, but they were just trying to use him as their main outlet, weren't they? We will be discussing the controversial decisions in the game in just a bit, guys. So make sure you stay tuned. As I said, 50 of you in the building. Make sure that you smash a like if you haven't already. Helps get the video out there. The win yesterday made up for them 4 tyres I got nicked last year at Wolves. God, yeah, Mark, I remember you telling me that on a previous stream. Yeah, it does make up for it 100%. Made my weekend, and what a goal by Jack. Yeah, 100%. Good finish from Harrison. Nonto celebrating Rasmus's goal was great to see. Yeah, he loves a celebration, does Willie. Get the guy a statue. I tell you who does deserve a statue, Luke Ayling outside Molineux, because he owns that ground. Other drinks are available. Yep, Iron Brew. Other drinks are available, but it is my favourite drink. Mixed in with a bit of Wolves fans' tears there. Just how I like it. We now have a manager that can read the game and sets us up for each team. However, after the break, we could still be in the bottom 3. Could we? I don't think we could be. We're 14th at the minute, Jace. Do you mean if other games go against us when we play Arsenal? Or, I mean, it is quite right, though, just as a generalisation of everything at the minute. Leeds could very much find themselves in the bottom 3 on that game week against Arsenal if other results don't go for us, which is why, even if we do, the fact that we've won this game against Wolves means that if we can then go and beat Forest, go and beat Palace, beat Leicester at home, beat Bournemouth away, or even get a point at Bournemouth away, which I know sounds daft, but if we can beat all the teams in and around us at home, a nice point away at Bournemouth, it all adds up at the end of the day. And Javi Gracia at the minute, he's beating the teams in and around us, so you can't complain really. He's had 4 games in charge. He's beaten Southampton, got beat by Chelsea, which on paper you would expect to happen, I guess. A draw against Brighton, which, yes, the performance was bad in my opinion, but we still got that point against a very good Brighton team. Who else was it? Oh, and then, yeah, Wolves yesterday. Sorry, yeah. So 4, and it's taken 7 points. And in the form table, since Javi Gracia has taken over, Leeds would be 7th. So when you put it into perspective like that, it's not all doom and gloom at the minute, guys. We can have positives. We can have positives, guys. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Michael's in the building. Was keeping an eye on Just Joe and Ollie Ward watch along yesterday. 3-0 up. They were in dreamland. Joe was beside himself at 3-2. Those guys were biting the nails. 4-2. And it was a big relief for them. I was exactly the same. And the fact that Just Joe and Ollie Ward were both live at the same time as me, and I still had quite a lot of people in my chat, interacting. I appreciate people were probably in and out of everyone else's streams, but I appreciate all the love and support that I get on the channel. I'm still trying to build up the channel. It isn't the finished article, but hopefully the more I do these lives, the more content I get out there, I can grow the channel even more. That is the goal, 100%. Jason saying 46 in the building and only 18 likes. Come on, you guys, it's free. Exactly. If you don't want to listen to me, then listen to Jason. Big supporter of the channel. What a legend. Yep, only 18 likes and there's 46 people in the building. What are you doing? Smash that like button. It helps get the video out there and gets more eyes on the channel. So if you could do me a solid, that would be amazing. Do you think we played worse when Bamford came off? You see, I've seen this argument. Stevie. I didn't think Bamford did much in the game. I get he offers, the link-up play and the holding up of the ball. I do think there was a bit of a drop-off in the attacking third when Bamford came off. I feel like I think Rodrigo and Bamford are obviously different types of striker, so you have to change tact slightly when Bamford comes off. But I felt Leeds still edged it over the 90, in my opinion. Let's just speak about the controversial decisions at Molineux then. Where do we start? First half, Nelson Semedo goes down after a supposed challenge from Junior Firpo, which I wasn't listening to the co-commentary, but I've seen this David Phillips fella, who apparently was very, very upset that Wolves did not get that penalty in the first half. I don't know why, because when you look at it back, does Firpo touch him? Not in my book, he doesn't. It's a dive, and he's looking to cheat there. I think VAR had a little look, and they deemed no further action, and rightly so. Craig Dawson on Jack Harrison only gets a booking, which fair enough. At the time, I did think it could have been a red, but fair enough, he gets booked. But then there's a free kick where he drags Patrick Bamford down by his shirt. His arms are all over him, drags him down, and he doesn't get a second booking. He doesn't get a second booking. Why? Why doesn't he get a second booking? He should have been off. But somehow Wolves fans are not acknowledging that. I wonder why. And then obviously there's the Johnny red card, which for me is a red card. That is a potential career-ending challenge on Luke Ayling from Johnny. The fact that Lopetegui has come out in the post-match and said that they're going to appeal that is an absolute joke. If they put an appeal in for that, they are not going to win that appeal. And if they do, it is bang out of order. But that'll be disgusting if they manage to get that overturned, because that is a red card. It's a red card challenge. But let's get on to the main one at the end, which for me is the most baffling reaction from these Wolves fans. Have you seen the size of Adama Traore? Like, look at the man. He is an absolute unit. He's a beast of a man. Oiled up, big biceps, muscly guy, obviously a strong guy. And yeah, Mark Rocker tugs his shirt. He does, but it's the slightest tug. When he tugs his shirt, if Traore should have been, maybe if Traore did want something from that, he could have used his brain and gone down, but he didn't. When Mark Rocker tugs his shirt, he plays on, and then when he loses the ball, he just stands there and looks at ref and looks about like that. And Chris Somerville plays to the whistle correctly, plays Rodrigo in, and Leeds United score. Sparks quite a lot of outrage and frustration on the Wolves bench. And Mateus Nunes, I think it was, for Wolves, their record is who Fisher sent off. And you just think, apparently he got quite close in the face of the officials. And he's now banned for 3 games when he didn't even enter the pitch. So that's frustrating from their point of view. But I've seen loads of Wolves Twitter accounts and Wolves fans on Twitter and Instagram and socials in general, and they're all just moaning about that one more than any of them. And I think, like, obviously, I mean, well, I was trying to think of it if it had been the other way. At the end of the day, I could have understood Wolves being a bit angry if they hadn't have checked VAR for it, but he did. And to be fair to the referee, he stuck with his on-field decision. That for me, there was not enough in that to be a foul. And obviously, it is brilliant to see the opposition fans crying all night on Twitter about it. They all think that the referee organisation. Oh, they all think that the referee board are just all against them and they're all corrupt and it's a conspiracy and it's God, it's laughable. It is actually laughable. Charlie, you can understand that at 3-0 Leeds would mentally relax, whereas Wolves not be as at it. Too big a mountain to climb yet, but if you get back, 100%. Traore always causing us problems, to be fair. He made some good crosses too. He made a difference to them. He did, but for me, his end product is still pretty bad, in my opinion. Especially letting Somerville get off him and setting up Roddy's goal. Especially, I mean, come on, look at Somerville and look at Traore. Even look at Mark Rocker and look at Traore. Come on. Come on. Like, there's so many comments here, guys. I do apologise if I miss anyone's comment because I really do appreciate your time to write a comment in, but there's that many at the minute. It's really overwhelming. Unbelievable support, guys. Thank you very much. Manjeet saying, take a point against Arsenal and shock a few people as long as we don't get beat 3 or 4-0. Exactly. For me, a performance will do. A performance will do against them as long as we don't get hammered. Did you see Nonto cuddling a young fan at Wolves? I did. That was really nice to see from Willie. Charlie, I mentioned to you on the watch along yesterday at 3-0 up Leeds. Should look to kill the game by breaking up play and gamemanship, not allowing Wolves to play. Yeah, you did. But I think they did allow Wolves back into it, which was a bit frustrating. Rodrigo's statue at Wolves and Luke Ayling as well. Let's not forget. Remember, we have a great goal difference. Count as an extra point. Yeah, just reading through the comments. Wolves moaning about time wasting was comedy gold, to be fair. Unbelievable, wasn't it? So they are the worst team for trying to cheat and gamesmanship and time wasting. But when another team does it to them, it's crime of the century, honestly. You're doing a cracking big up, Yorkie lad. Thank you very much for that, mate. Appreciate that comment. I could not cope with the watch along, so stressful. Oh, mate, try being the one doing it. Honestly. Honestly. And Firpo was trying to get the ball. Yep. Marsh and Bielsa had one system. Bielsa much better than Marsh, but rivals soon knew how to combat the Leeds system. Javi changes tactics according to the opposition and very difficult to know his setup. Yeah, which is a huge positive. It's all we've asked for from a manager for quite a few seasons now, even under Bielsa. To just be a bit more pragmatic. Usually we're really critical of Bamford, but I thought it was pretty good yesterday. Fair enough, mate. That's your opinion. I didn't think he offered too much in the game, to be honest. Tom Matson's in the building. Hi, mate. Great content. Thanks, pal. If we survive this season, what do you reckon we should aim for next season? Just a comfortable mid-table. Or I don't think next season, whatever happens with Leeds, I don't think the bottom half will be as close as it is this season. I really don't. So a 12th or 13th, but comfortable, I think would be good for next season, just to consolidate. And then if we can sign the right players, we can keep progressing. Hopefully, you start to look at maybe top 10 and then Europe, etc., etc. That's obviously the plan, isn't it? Thought it was Nonto coming off that hurt our attacking floor more. I too didn't think Bamford was playing that well at all, to be honest. Not holding the ball up well either. Yeah, he had his moments where it did work, but again, there was a lot of ones that didn't work really. I think his Traore played on after having his shirt. Exactly. If he hadn't have played on and he'd have gone down, then yeah, it'd have been frustrating from our point of view. But at least but he didn't. He played on and then he lost the ball and then had a moan. Well, no, you can't have your cake and eat it, pal. You either go down or you don't. It was like Aston Villa. Don't know what you're referring to there, mate. It was like Aston Villa. Good to see Palace were terrible today. Hopefully they won't have the new manager bounced by the time they play us. I mean, if it's Roy Hodgson that they go for, I mean, come on. Tarantino's toes, I mean. Like I said, Forest and Palace at home just have to be wins. It's as simple as that. Watched a few Wolves fans channels, not happy at all about refs, VAR, etc. Surprised that some were against red card as that was a potential leg breaker, that one. Exactly. And I get it, obviously, that's 2 seasons in a row now that Wolves have had a man sent off at Molineux against Leeds. So obviously I've not actually watched any of the Wolves YouTube channels. Obviously, Dave from Talking Wolves, who helped me out with the opposition focus through the week, is a good lad, is Dave, and the content that they do is really good, to be fair. But I can imagine it'll have been comedy gold listening to them on their channel last night. The whining amongst Wolves fan was going another level. Yeah, mate, they are the worst for moaning. Honestly, I've never seen out like it. To be honest, never seen out like it. Javi is turning Leeds into an unpredictable team where opponents don't know how to combat them. Sometimes a low mid-block team, not the consistent pressing style, so opponents are caught in 2 minds. Yeah, and like I said, pragmatism, uh, an ability to change it in game as well if something's not working. That's all we've ever asked for. And if it still ain't working, then fair enough. But I'll just say it, the balls to change it mid-game and to make certain decisions, like bringing Nonto off. We all were baffled by Willie Nonto coming off for Rasmus Christensen, but he played a blinder with that. In the end, he did. Chris should rename the Steve Bull stand the Luke Ayling stand. Yep, they should indeed. Both seasons he scored, it's been in the same goal as well. Unbelievable. Oh, Chris, nice one. Yeah, exactly. Best part about winning is getting to watch matches of the day without feeling angry. Exactly. And Wolves Leeds was actually the first game on match at day last night. So as soon as I'd seen our game, I wasn't really bothered. I just switched it off. Bamford needs 1 more goal for Leeds to reach his 50th Leeds career goal. Yeah, I think you shared that yesterday, Michael, on the watch along, which, yeah, hopefully he can get that soon. Chris is agreeing with Enzio there. They call us time wasters, the irony. Exactly, Matt Leeds, exactly. How ironic that Wolves are calling us time wasters, eh? That times they've done it at Ellen Road. Jesus. Big thing this year is the top sides are not as good as before, so dropping points against the smaller teams and bottom mid-half teams pretty close, taking points from each other. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Bournemouth beating Liverpool last weekend just shows you that anything is possible in this league this season. Hopefully, Leeds can go to Arsenal and get something from the game at least. But yeah, obviously Rodrigo backfiring as well. I just wanted to touch on that briefly. As I said, I felt he looked a bit rusty at first coming on, but he took his finish really well. Nice, smart finish over Jose Sa. And yeah, hopefully we can get Rodrigo back to his form before he got injured, because I think that'll be a huge factor in keeping Leeds United in the division. David, I'm so glad about the win yesterday. Aren't we all, mate? Isn't it nice to just come on here and just be happy? Just be happy. Have a smile on all our faces. We don't have to think about Leeds United for the next 2 weeks, as well as it is the boring international break. But again, over this next 2 weeks, hopefully Tyler Adams can get back fit. Hopefully, Javi Gracia can get more of his ideas across to the squad. There's only a few of them that I think are going away with international duty. I think Max Verber is with Austria. Aronson and McKennie are going away with America. And I believe Orton Nonto's going away with Italy. He'll actually be playing against England. So I might watch that one just to see Big Willie Nonto play. But yeah, hopefully Javi can get into the squad. And hopefully, get more of his ideas across, because when you think about it, yeah, he's had periods where he's had like a full week with them, but he's got 2 full weeks with them now. Get his ideas on the training pitch, implement his style of play a lot better, practice shooting a bit more because, yes, we were clinical yesterday. I think we only had 4 efforts on target and that were our goals. So it just proves that we were more clinical. I think Wolves had a higher XG as well because they did have quite a few chances, to be fair. I think Melier made some really good saves. As I say, I don't think he's at fault for Johnny's goal. I think he clears his lines in the best way possible. Mark Rocker, a dodgy touch straight into the path of Johnny, who hits it on the volley. And as I say, that's one of them shots where it either goes into Rosehead or it goes in. And unfortunately, it went in. And then it was Mateus Cunha, of all people, that gets his first Wolves goal against Leeds when we were linked with him quite a while ago, weren't we? David Link again. I think that Rutter and Rodrigo will do well. Yeah, and again, that's a good point. That's made me remember something. Ruta and Sinistera didn't even get on the pitch. Cooper didn't get on the pitch, which I'm quite happy about that he didn't tinker with that back four. In all honesty, because I think the back four has been really solid. So I think to disrupt that at the minute would be a mistake. Ruta and Sinistera are not coming on. Ruta, he hasn't set the world alight, has he? And that's been kind. I'm still withholding judgment on him because I feel like the times that he's played out of position. For me, he's best out on the wing. Sinistera, I think it was smart to not bring him on in that game yesterday because in reality, he wasn't needed really. And the fact that he's not 100% match fit, again, the next 2 weeks, he can get more fit and hopefully he's fit enough to start against Arsenal because my front three against Arsenal, if everyone's okay, would be Nonto, Rodrigo, and Sinistera. It would. And I know that sounds harsh on Jack Harrison, and it probably won't be that front three because Jack Harrison will probably start because of his form over the last couple of games. And I get that and I appreciate that, but it just again really good headache for Javi Gracia to have. All the attacking options that Leeds United have at the minute, it's really refreshing to see. Michael say in the building again, pleased for Rasmus yesterday with his goal. Hopefully he can gain new confidence. He mentioned he wasn't called up to the Danish squad, but more consistent performances for Leeds, he can get back in. Yeah, which it does seem like a bit of a drastic drop off for Rasmus because he started most games in the World Cup for Denmark. So yeah, hopefully he can turn his form about to get back in the national team. Hopefully Brendan is rested against Arsenal, apart from one cross where Bamford slipped and Harrison had a shot blocked. So the rest of Brendan's decision making was terrible. Yeah, can't disagree. Nice of Javi praising Rasmus again. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. We need his time to practice free kicks too. We were woeful at them. Mate, did you see how many did we blast over the bar yesterday? I think Bamford took one, Mark Rocker took one, both blasted over the bar. Mark Rocker was on corners yesterday. Obviously, set up Ayling's goal. We've actually got it into the box, beat the first man. So if we can keep him on corners, that'll be nice. Javi was a 49ers appointment, not Rads or Orta, as they want a manager that operates a high-intensity pressing style. If they stay, Javi won't be the coach going forward. They didn't want Marsh to go. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do at the end of the season, depending on what happens. For me, if we stay up and we have a good end to the season, I don't see a reason why Javi Gracia shouldn't get the job. But obviously, if we just stay up by the skin of his teeth, they might think to appoint someone else and just thank Javi for keeping us up. But if we go down, weirdly, I would probably trust Javi Gracia to get us back up if there was anyone to get us back up. But let's not think about that after a win anyway. Let's not think about that. Leeds actually scored from a corner. Yep, they did. Unbelievable stuff. Quite a lot of positives to take from yesterday's game, guys. Honestly, there's 54 of you in the building. Unbelievable interaction and engagement on this installment of the final say tonight. Really overwhelming. I can't thank you all enough for your support. Big up to Jason for his donation earlier. Big up to everyone that has wrote a comment into tonight's live stream. We're going to leave it there, guys. We've been going for nearly 53 minutes now. Don't feel like there's a lot more we can get into, really. I feel like we've covered all bases. I will be back on the channel tomorrow evening. I'm not sure what time as of yet. But I will be back with a live player ratings, guys. So make sure that you make a note of all your ratings, get in the building tomorrow, and we'll hopefully have a chat about each individual in a bit more detail. 60 of you in the building as we're finishing. That is absolutely unbelievable. I can't honestly thank you all enough for your support. Honestly, it's been unbelievable. Billy Delaney, Leeds fan from the US. Thanks for doing these. Unbelievable that people from other countries are even watching me. That's mind blowing for me. Cheers, Enzio, as well, for you joining the building, mate. An excellent stream, Charlie. Thanks, Michael, mate. Really do appreciate that. As I said, I'll be back on the channel tomorrow night with the live player rating, so make sure that you get involved in that one tomorrow. Smash a like on it if you haven't already for this one, guys. It helps get the video out there. Share it with your friends, your family, your neighbours, whoever. Hit that notification bell. And please subscribe to the channel as well. We're on the road to 3,000. And I will see you tomorrow for the player ratings, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.